to have this go just so I can kind of pace myself?
We'll be chatting for like half an hour,
Okay,
something
perfect.
like
I'm
that.
good to
Thank
go.
you. Alrighty, let me make sure it's working. Okay. 1 second. So I know this stuff is always a pain. Okay. All right, boom. So I believe we are live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. Thankfully, I got the StreamYard to work. I know technology is not always fun, but help me welcome everybody, Dave Savage, right? That's the right way to say it. And I'm very excited here because today I would really like to welcome him and help us, really go through some of the deeper parts on building an exceptional client experience, what it takes to really excel in the mortgage industry. I know there's a lot of people in this group here that are really just high performers and really looking to build an industry, and they're crushing it online. And I think today we have somebody here that's really going to be able to open up our eyes to some of the possibilities. So, Dave, before I jump in, I just want to ask a quick question. What is so far with Mortgage Coach? Can you just share a little bit of some of the cool things that you guys have going on there, and then we can kind of dive into some more detail.
Yeah, I mean, our newest call it solution or innovation is a partnership with a company called LoanSense that helps people with student loans literally within seconds figure out whether they qualify to have the payment adjusted, an income-based payment adjustment, or if they qualify to actually have some of the debt forgiven. According to the CFPB, there's over 25 million people with student loans that actually qualify for an adjustment, which is mind-boggling to me. I didn't know it. There's 45 million people with student loans. The ones that are backed by the federal government, they can be adjusted, and according to the CFPB, 25 million of them are eligible to be adjusted. So we've partnered with them and making it easy for loan officers to optimize the purchase power of anybody with a student loan. So that's pretty cool. Pretty fired up about it.
Yeah, that is awesome. I have a couple friends who are still dealing with student loans, so I can imagine they'd be excited about this. So, Dave, I am a big fan of using software to just make your business better, and I know that a lot of people can get bogged down in tools and implementing in their business, and especially if you're not technology savvy, I guess. But I'm curious with something like Mortgage Coach, right, where it's really focused on enhancing your ability to service, the person, as well as it has a whole bunch of other tools too that makes it great. But where do you think, in respect to like client servicing, mortgage professionals right now, where there's a big opportunity, and I don't want to say this kind of a negative way, but the biggest opportunity for mortgage professionals where they may become in shortfall, or where they feel like most people aren't kind of taking advantage of, that you feel in terms of client service that they should be starting to do so?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a quote. I don't know who actually came up with this quote, but it goes like this: the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can't read and write, but will be those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of places in the mortgage experience where loan officers know there's a better way, or there's a best practice that they should be deploying. But the biggest challenge is unlearning, call it some, less than great habits, and
Mm-hmm.
relearning some new ones so that your client experience is exceptional and it's a habit. And so, I mean, there's just so many things that, when I interview the best loan officers in America, and I'm just like, oh my God, on a scale of 1 out of 10, you're a 9, uh, versus, and there's some very successful loan officers that do over 100 million in volume a year
Mm-hmm.
that are executing at a level of good, not great, in a lot of levels. So it's just that unlearning and relearning that is the key, and kind of the pivot to opening up new doors for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, something interesting that I've been looking at recently was as well, in respects to that, was uh, really understanding like business principle. on what are the core different areas of the business, and what you'd be able to kind of delegate or prioritize first over time. And then when it comes to like the mortgage agency is very interesting. Obviously, when what I'm doing, you've got the front end side and then the back end. And I know a lot of people struggle with creating an experience that, from front to end, is very smooth. And one of the things that I try to, I guess, help people with is actually building something like this. So I'm curious right now, when it comes to what you can do to nurture people, right? Because that's like one of the best things you could do is building that database, building that experience to nurture people. When you were starting out, like what are some of the challenges that you had with your business in terms of managing both sides of things, right? Being able to develop like a pipeline to manage people from the front and bring them to the back. Like that must have been hard to like try and build that all out.
Yeah, no, it's really hard, and it takes time. That's the thing I would tell new loan officers is you can't do it all at once. I've interviewed Shant Benoshian a few times lately, and he's actually doing a keynote at the Modern Mortgage Summit next week called the CEO Mindset. And for anyone who doesn't know who Shant is, he's the number one loan officer in America. His team of 50 is going to do over 2.2 billion in production this year. So, I mean, here's a guy, and when he does that, like he talks about when I went from loan officer mentality to CEO mentality, and now he really feels like he has this unlimited scale to what he can do. It's to really recognize that you're not just a salesperson. Sales is one part of the job. Support is another part of the job. Production and operations is a part of the job. Marketing is a part of the job. Biz dev and recruiting partners is a part of the job. So, I mean, there's admin, when you have a team of more than 3 or 5, there's administrative functions. So there's a lot to it. So I would just tell new loan officers or people that are new with their team is plan, have quarterly goals, have annual goals, have 3-year goals, have 5-year goals, and then, have a plan. Okay, what are we going to do this quarter? Are we going to start doing social media this quarter? Okay, that's a plan. But hey, by the way, we can't put a biz dev program to kill it with realtors, do a social media platform, adopt a new CRM. We can't do too many things too quick. And that's what I see a lot of people make mistakes is when they're brand new, they try to eat the elephant in one bite.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that work. I've seen people scale faster than others, but usually when you dissect the people that really scaled faster, it was like this month we did this, we operationalized it, and we adopted it. And literally they're, the fastest I've ever seen anyone really evolve is like 2-week cycles, but usually it's 4-week to 6-week cycles at improving parts of their overall mortgage practice. And just remember, when you're new, selling is everything, until you have, I don't know, 25 leads coming in consistently monthly. And really the goal is 100, you look at most top $100 million a year producers, like 100 leads a month, and you can do a lot of volume. 125 leads, but that's where you start. But if you want to scale, you need to think of the entire mortgage practice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something when you were saying about I have a coach of mine that shared this, and he's like, simplicity scales, complexity fails. And when I heard it, it's so true, because recently I was doing a virtual mastermind with some great people in the sales and marketing world. And obviously a lot of people in there had like a lot more zeros than me. So I was just listening the whole time. And one of the things that surprised me the most is almost every single person in the room was serving one customer. Like they were serving one type of person, and they did it so well it allowed them to scale really fast because of how simple it was. And I feel like there's a lot of I guess the culture online, right, on what exactly you were saying, where people are just trying to take on way too much, man. So I guess when you were starting out with Mortgage Coach and building out this incredible software, man, like what would you do to kind of maintain focus? I always love to know what are people's strategies that have helped them stay in tune to their goals over this period of time?
Yeah, I mean, probably when I think of personal productivity habits that have really served me well, and it took me a long time to get to where I thought I was, pretty personally productive, because I am ADD. Like, I know everybody says they're ADD now, but like, hey, I was the kid in school taking Ritalin. I'm
Yeah.
really ADD,
Gotcha.
and so, but the personal productivity habit that serves me the most. And I learned this doing a Darren Hardy productivity. I think it was called Insane Productivity by Darren Hardy. I don't think he does it anymore, but it's jam sessions. It's scheduling. Now, Darren, when he teaches it, he says schedule these 90-minute work on your business jam sessions. I can't concentrate and do anything for 90 minutes straight, so I schedule 45-minute jam sessions, ADD jam sessions. But I do schedule these 45-minute, like, I'm not going to take phone calls. I'm not going to check my mobile device. I usually shut Slack in my inbox, and any incoming form of communication, I try to just, okay. And now I'm going to crunch out some working on my business stuff, and so I mean, I think being able to build the discipline around being able to do that type of project work, and to be able to actually tune out all the noise of being a loan officer for 45 minutes at a time. And here's the deal, because I've interviewed a lot of super high performing loan officers, and Darren Hardy, like, when you go through his Insane Productivity, he would say do 5 jam sessions a week. And I don't know too many loan officers that could do 5 jam sessions a week. I mean, our job is like, we're problem solvers and we're selling. But when I've dissected this in the mortgage business, 2 to 3. If you can do 2 to 3 jam sessions a week, you can, 1, execute a mortgage practice, and then 2, you can scale it by doing that project work and doing it in jam sessions. So that's my, I don't know, my best habit.
Yeah.
And I would recommend y'all try to get some of that.
100%. Yeah. These packing your calendar like that. And so you're saying 2 to 3 90-minute sessions where you're just totally only focused on one thing. Is
No,
that?
it's like 1 to 3 things, like when I'll make my jam sessions, it's but usually there are things that take more than 15 minutes each task. And sometimes it's, I would say most of the time it's 2 to 3 things, but it's writing an email, it's creating a new template, it's, creating a one-to-many marketing message, could be creating a job description, anything that would be building the systems of your business, or things that aren't selling. And now I'm, a CEO mortgage coach, so I'm either selling, creating, or interacting with my team. Like, those are the 3 things. But when it comes to creating content, I need to create jam sessions, maybe not to create the content, but like, if I was you and you're interviewing me, I would have it in a jam session. Like, hey, what's the post I'm going to write to promote it so I get good distribution out of it? Am I going to email and do a post? That would all be stuff that I'd put into a jam session.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. And I feel like there's going to be some people listening to this and be like, I'd probably be able to do a lot more jam sessions than 2 to 3 right now on my calendar. And if that's the case, definitely do more prospecting. But if you are in a point where you're running back and forth, this is incredibly useful. So I guess the one thing, man, that's been on my mind, right? Because as you know, really everything that we're doing here in the group and everything that I'm all about is building, your business foundationally by leveraging, doing the stuff online, but really leaving that to later and focusing on referral partners, focusing on building your ecosystem, and you just providing value, building your skills, really just being unique. And I'm curious how, for example, something like Mortgage Coach, because I'm always looking at, what can you do to be a better referral partner? And obviously the things that I'm able to help people with is really just focused on helping generate more opportunity, systemizing the business, delegating, automating more things. and of course, creating unique messages. But when it comes to what you know about, like share a couple of ways maybe that you may be able to help out and say like, what are some unique things that people can do to really, be a more better referral partner?
Well, I mean, I think the foundation to every successful loan officer is the borrower experience. Like if you are delivering a borrower experience that goes beyond just your typical, hey, I've got great rates, I close loans fast, and I solve problems. Like that is the typical LO value prop, call it hustler strategy.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but if you've got a really valuable borrower experience where you do that, like those are table stakes, but you also help the family put a plan together to
Mhm.
build wealth with real estate that gives them some fiscal literacy and really delivers value beyond the mortgage transaction. Like if you can do that, first of all, you're going to be more confident than other loan officers. You're going to be more valuable than other loan officers, and you will actually show up differently with
Mhm.
realtors, CPAs, financial planners. Just call it referral partners. And so I always just say the two most important things to have a client for life sustainable mortgage practice are
Mhm.
an incredible borrower conversation that is valuable beyond the mortgage transaction, and then your past customers. Like if you make your past customers your number one priority, you'll just have this practice. It's like a snowball going down, a hill. It'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you do those two things and you'll be a millionaire loan officer. I don't know how many people that follow you are new loan officers, but I've actually got a playbook. It's called the New Loan Officer Playbook.
Cool.
It's in LinkedIn. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, I have articles. That's like, hey, there's
Yeah.
posts and there's
Yeah.
articles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did it on August 9th. It's called the New Loan Officer Playbook.
Love
But
it.
I would recommend even like, hey, let's say you've been doing this for a decade.
Yeah.
Uh, you could get value from reading this playbook because that's the other thing is I see a lot of loan officers that have been in business for 5 and 10 years, but they did their first year 5 and 10 times. Uh,
Mhm.
and they haven't really built out a world-class borrower experience and a world-class client for life platform.
Mhm. Man, that's yeah. It's really so important. So I'm curious, how have you been able to like, obviously through your experiences and learning how to create a great experience and lifetime value for customers, what are some things that you guys do at Mortgage Coach to kind of ensure when somebody enters a world that you just make them happy and retain them?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think tactically at the point of sale, the thing that I would push every loan officer to do is to just go that one step beyond the transaction. Most loan officers will ask you, hey, how long you think you can have this house or this loan, and that's good. Like I think every loan officer asks that, and then that kind of dictates whether it's points, no points, 5-year arm, 30-year fixed. That's I call that playing checkers.
Mm.
And I would just push you to kind of go one or two steps beyond that. Like, hey, how old do you want to be when your home's paid off? Oh, you want to be 55. Okay, well, how old are you going to be on this loan that we're getting you into? Oh, you're
Mm.
going to be 65. 10-year gap. Let's address that. Ask questions like, hey, what are your real estate goals? Do you want to, when do you want to achieve financial freedom through real estate? And people are like, dude, I'm just happy to qualify for this,
Yeah.
you know, this loan I barely qualify for. Hey, that's cool. I'm going to help you get this first home, but I really want to help you if you want to, build wealth with real estate and, try to get into that conversation beyond the transaction. First of all, that is a difference maker. Like the most elite loan officers in the country, they're just playing a different game.
Mhm.
Like the average LO that's scrambling, doesn't optimize past customers, doesn't have an optimized conversion rate. They're not doing this. They're just like, when they get to Social Security number, they're like, ching,
Yeah,
I
that's
got
yeah.
the Social Security number. I'm in business. You know, the baller is celebrating, oh, I got their real estate goals.
Yeah.
Oh, I know when they want to be financial free. And now they're giving advice at a different level and they're closing more loans, they're getting more referrals, they're, doing more loans per customer. They're just playing a different game.
Absolutely.
So that's a thought for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, dude, nurture is so key, and it comes down to just simple pipeline management, and something that is a lesson I've been learning a lot this year on, trying to not just be that person that's going for the 3% of the market that's just like, looking to work with somebody and not have a relationship. Um, Man, that's honestly right there on its own. So for that person, right? I guess one of the things that I think about when you say this is how can you make that process scalable, right? For nurturing people, that's I guess what the big guys are always doing. So I'm curious, maybe not so much on a strategy like tactic things that you can do, but a more high level perspective on, okay, you know, am I going to pretty much just build relationships long term and nurture people single handedly, or are there process or maybe people that I can bring in to create this experience? From your experience looking at mortgage professionals who have scaled and done this, what are some of the things and challenges that they have faced like with creating that experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I think building a team and scaling with team is the end thing to do, and a really smart thing to do. So I'm all about that. I do think some loan officers have some belief systems. They're either too proud. Only I can do it. I like to do everything myself. That's your story. But I would push every loan officer that wants to scale, be thinking about, hey, I want to be a team leader, and I want to be a great team leader. When people say, hey, what is the modern mortgage professional? Yes, they use technology. Yes, they use media, but they're great leaders. Like, you want to be a modern mortgage professional, be a great leader, and be a great leader to your clients, be a great leader to your partners, and be a great leader to your team. So I like scaling. I like teams. In the Modern Mortgage Summit, we put a lot of content in there around how to build and scale your team. Just some cliff notes for anyone listening to this. Usually it's pretty hard to sustainably close more than 8 or 10 loans a month by yourself with
Yeah,
any type of life
a lot
balance.
of work.
Like, are there people that do it? Yes, but it's hard. So usually, as a rule of thumb, when you get to that point where you're consistently getting the lead flow, 20, 25 plus leads a month, 8-ish loans closed a month, you need a team. And even to do that consistently 12 months a year, you need a team. And usually, West Coast big loan amounts, you can scale with, 6 loans for every teammate. A lot of markets, you need 8-ish loans for every teammate. But usually when someone's closing 20, 25 loans a month, there's 2 or 3 team members doing it. But I'm a big fan of team building, winning with teams, and getting to where you have a team.
Yeah, man, that stuff is, it's even there's a couple people I've come across that like doing 25 a month and they don't even have an assistant. And I was just like, man, how many hours are you working?
Yeah, you could do it. There's a few out there, and my hat's off to them. But here's the deal. I would guarantee you, anybody that's doing that, they could do more with less time.
Yeah.
And go further with a team. Like if you build a team, you can do less, you can have more quality of life. And that's the other thing. I mean, mortgage business is great, but saving your money, not burning out. If you're married or have a partner, like being there for them, being healthy physically, there's a lot of spinning pots or spinning plates. And if you don't have a team, it's hard to spin them all.
100%. Yeah. Something interesting is recently I've been helping a friend of mine who's, was a agent for quite a while and is looking to actually start their own brokerage virtually, and mainly just not being satisfied with, the people he's worked with. Really, it's the structure, right? With everything COVID's happened, he's like, man, I really feel like there's a better way to do this. I'm curious. This is just my own opinion because I know some people really like having an office environment and being traditionally in the mortgage industry, but Like, do you believe that it's totally possible to have a virtual mortgage like brokerage and being able to do it and run a team that way?
Yeah, it's not my belief; it's a fact. I mean, you're seeing a lot of loan officers working virtually. I'm seeing a massive trend of people that have been, killing it for a decade and deciding, hey, I want to live somewhere else,
Yeah.
and let's just call out Nashville, say, hey, I'm going to move, has $100 million a year practice in California, but moves the family to Nashville, still manages that platform and is scaling it. So yeah, it's not my belief. It's a fact. It's a reality that you can kill it virtually in the mortgage space.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Because there's been a couple people we were
Yeah.
talking
Well,
about.
I know I know a really cool loan officer in Washington that kills it. I don't know if she does over 50 million, but does over 30, and decide, you know what? I want to live on a lake, an hour out of town. And I think she still has a place in Tacoma, I think it's called. She's got this like postcard, beautiful cabin on a lake. And, I think internet is the challenge. I've been hearing more and more people that are getting hooked up with Starlink. And I think Starlink is a game changer.
Yeah.
So that we could literally, be off the grid, travel around the country and doing mortgages, van life, I know loan officers killing it, working out of vans.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. That's
wild. Look up Adventure Lender. Sean Herrero, he's going to be one of the speakers at the Modern Mortgage Summit, and his office is a Mercedes Sprinter van.
Oh, you're kidding.
And the dude loves to rock climb. He loves to dive. He loves to mountain bike. He's Adventure Lender, and he's, put signage on his Sprinter van, so it's a lead generator.
Yeah.
And the dude's killing it. He's doing 130 million a year in volume out of Northern California. Working out of a van.
Okay, well, definitely all belief has just been like absolutely shattered just through the Adventure Lender. That's awesome. And Dave, so I like to ask this question. This has I guess nothing to do with mortgages and just generally as an entrepreneur, man. But looking back on your experience, I guess on your journey, what are some of the big lessons that kind of you learned from mistakes that you want to share to people that are even in any stage of their career, to help them kind of keep crushing it?
Yeah. So, the two things that are most important to my success is, my energy and my attitude. I think choosing positivity over negativity is a choice. And it's a habit that I've developed where I choose positivity. I don't do a lot of news. And I just pick a positive attitude every day and I own it. I'm a big fan of Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership. And, there's no bad teams, just bad leaders. I believe that. So I think if you can just kind of have that extreme ownership attitude and choose positivity, just train yourself to be that positive force. I think, it's been really important to me in terms of, and I've been on both sides of what I'm going to say next. I've not been this person and lost a lot of money and failed because of it. And I've also executed with that CEO mindset. Remember, I don't care whether you're a brand new loan officer, it's your first year in the business, and I don't care what channel, broker, banker, you work for a credit union. When you're in a loan business, you can be the CEO of your own mortgage practice. And I think it's that CEO mentality, work on becoming more than a salesperson. To be a good loan officer, you got to be a badass salesperson. So I don't want to minimize sales skills and sales habits because those are table stakes.
Yeah.
But although, you know what, I take that back. I know some people that are not, you meet these people, you're like,
not sales at all.
Not sales at all. And they're closing, 200 loans a year, because they're just process driven and they're servants and they have good enough communication skills. But that CEO mindset, we're going to be doing this Modern Mortgage Summit on Wednesday the 6th. Check it out. And and Sean Benosian's keynote on the CEO mindset, I think is something every loan officer needs to really embrace.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing this mortgage summit for a while. There's going to be an awesome list of people there, you included, which is going to be awesome, man. Dave, any final words here before we end this incredible piece here of all this valuable information on last advice for this year, this next new year with mortgage professionals, and some things to look out for?
Yeah, my closing thought for every loan officer listening to this is don't compete with other loan officers. Don't worry about other channels. Be the captain of the wealth team. Like, I think as loan officers, we have more information on that family than the CPA. CPA only has income information. We have more information on that family than an asset advisor. We've got liabilities and advice. We can be the most valuable advisor to a family. And I do think there's a fiscal literacy crisis in America.
Mhm.
You know, of those 27 million people that qualify for student loans, most of them have no idea. So I would just say, guys, loan officers are the most valuable advisors a family could ever have. So, like, own that, you know, like, become fiscally literate yourself. Hopefully Mortgage Coach can help you with some of that training. I know you've got a great platform, but take that seat at the leadership table and build out this platform where you got realtors, they're alpha partners, you got CPAs, you got financial planners, you got life insurance agents, and you're the captain on behalf of the family. Like, take that seat of being the captain of the team would be my closing thought.
Awesome. Boom. Well, there you have it, guys. Be the captain. These are some incredible value information. I know that there's, as always, people who will, you know, maybe sit in the shadows, but will take action on such action like this, and it'll change your life. So thank you, Dave. That was really some insightful information, man. And I look forward to actually checking out the adventure lender and some of the things you mentioned out here, man.
Yeah, Sean, coolest dude you'll ever meet. You know, he's,
Yeah.
you know, just a baller. You're gonna love it when you see him online. You're just like, that dude's cool. You know, and that guy, I think he's going on his 5th year as a loan officer, and I think he's going to do over 130 million in volume this year. I mean, he's rad. I mean, he's legit.
Yeah, I would love to check out the lead source report and see how many came from the van. Maybe that's a new strategy here.
There you go, bro.
All right. Take care, Dave. Have a good
Take care, everybody. Thanks for putting me on your platform. Have a good one, Ferris.
Cheers.